Hi everyone, welcome to PowerShell for Penetration Testers at Pentester Academy. In this video, let's have a look at persistence options available with PowerShell. So existing PowerShell scripts and modules in Nishang and PowerSploit provide following three ways of persisting on a user machine. The first one is using WMI permanent event consumers. Another one is using Windows run registry keys. The third one is using scheduled tasks. Since Windows run registry key and scheduled tasks are really well known, let's stick to WMI permanent event consumers. Not going into much details of permanent event consumers, just keep in mind following points. The first one is, as the name suggests, permanent event consumers are designed to be permanent even across reboots. Second, we can use these events to trigger various things, let's say a command or a VB script and things like that. For example, we can use an event when a user logs in. That event could trigger a command or VB script or something like that. So that is the basic idea behind using persistence with the help of WMI permanent event consumers. You can read the reference blog in the next slide to get more details about it. The WMI method is used in backdoors and add persistence in Nishang and the persistence module in PowerSploit. So let's use a backdoor on Nishang. Keep in mind, to use permanent event consumers, we must run the script from an elevated shell. So this is an elevated shell. Let's use the DNS backdoor. And if we use it with the persist option, it asks us for the required options. Right now, let's just write anything into this. So as you can see that it says that object or property already exists. I believe I have forgot to remove the testing one, so you can use the remove persistence script from Nishang. To remove it. Okay, so it has removed the events. Now we should be able to persist on this machine. So now if we run it with still providing the non-serious values, as you can see, there has been no error and the script now or the backdoor now persists on this machine. Let's see. So a drawback with persistence in this way is these files must not be removed manually from the target machine. As soon as the machine reboots or a user logs off and logs on again, this VB script is called, which executes the backdoor machine. All of the backdoors in PowerShell in Nishang use a similar methodology. The only difference is when you use this with PowerPrinter, PowerPrinter copies itself in the PS module path of the user, and that way it is not dependent on these scripts in the temp directory. Still, the persist VBScript file would be required even for PowerPrinter. So, till now, there is no way to be persistent completely in memory, or at least without touching disk in PowerShell. So this is just one of the ways of doing it. If you see the source code of persist section of this backdoor, you will see that this is the heart of WMI permanent event consumer in this case, and the event we are using is Win32 logon session. So feel free to go through its source code. Another thing to note here is, if the backdoor detects that it is not running while running it, for example, we ran it from an elevated shell. Because it was ran from an elevated shell, it uses WMI permanent event consumers. Otherwise, the Windows run registry key could have been used. So this way, we persist across reboots on a machine. PowerShell also, or Nishang also has an add persistence script, but instead of that, let's see let's just import the persistence module from PowerSploit. Now if you see examples of add persistence in PowerSploit, there are a couple of interesting things. You need to create two persistence options, as in Nishang we saw that for elevated privileges we have separate persistence options, for user privileges we have separate persistence options. So add persistence needs options from new elevated elevated persistence options and user persistence options. You can provide that. For example, let's copy the example so that we need not type much. We can provide at logon, at startup. So in this case, the script gets executed at startup, and here at logon. An interesting thing in the difference of persistence between the two tools is this. The persistence module in PowerSploit does not write to the temp directory of the user. Instead, it writes to the profile path of all users in case of administrative privileges, or current user in the case of user privileges. Note that it is not executing a VB script on trigger. That means the event should be something different and the trigger should be something different as well. So as you can see that the code uses a command line event consumer, an instance of this class. So this is the way the persistence module in Powersploit works. So we have elevated options and user options here. Now we can use the add persistence method to add persistence to an existing script. This module also generates our persistence removal script. So try it out. This persistence option is really nice, the WMI event permanent event consumers, and it is not really well known. So these are a couple of blog posts I would like you to read to completely understand the persistence options. So that is all for this video. If you are enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, please recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the information security community.